And that's me.
Oh, you're live?
Hello, and we're over here.
There's cameras up there.
Yes. All right. We've got a new... Oh yeah, thanks.
Nice and cozy.
We have a new platform, so I don't know how to see who's here. So if you're there, let me know. I think nobody's there yet. Hello. Like this angle. I think no one's here yet. Oh, hello. Hi. It still says there's 0 people watching, but I can see that you've left a comment, so I'll assume that people are here. Hello. Here we go. Right, I'll assume that people are here and we'll start. So we're going to do slightly more relaxed stuff tonight. You'll need 2 pillows if you can from your bed, a chair, and then a towel or something, a yoga blanket or a towel. I see comments. You're there, cool. Right. Okay, so sitting on a height, cross-legged, give you a chance that if you need to run to your bed and get 2 pillows, and if you need to grab a chair, then if you can do that now, that's probably quite good to get it out of the way. So if anyone's just joining, 2 pillows from your bed, a chair, and a blanket, or anything really. I'm going to use my trousers as a raise. So sitting cross-legged, let your knees relax, hands on the knees. You can put your hands on the ends of the knees and pull to bring your chest forwards. So rather than being slumped back, you can use your hands, pull yourself up. You don't want to overdo it, you don't want to be back bending, but just enough that you're not slumped forwards and you can lift your chest up. Then try and maintain that as you bring your hands to the mid-thigh. Roll your shoulders back and down. Feel the elbows coming down. Keep the elbows nice and close into the sides, you don't want them too far out. And then hands in front of the chest, palms together. And close your eyes. So with the inhalation, feel the chest lifting up. And with the exhalation, the knees relaxing to the floor. And try and be nice and tall and straight through to the crown of your head, the whole spine, moving towards the ceiling. Make sure the tongue is relaxed away from the teeth, the jaw is relaxed, the teeth are apart, and that the eyes are soft and quiet. Then awareness again in the inner groins, letting the knees relax to the floor, letting the groins relax. Then we'll do our chant of Om, so breathing in. Om. Bow your head towards the floor. Palms in the mid-thigh. Then lift your head and open your eyes. So we're going to start in a pose called Supta Baddha Konasana. Hi, Joanne. So Supta Baddha Konasana, I'll show you first how to set up. You're going to have your 2 pillows like this, probably just like 1 pillow long, but stack them too high. And then something for your head, like a towel or a yoga blanket if you have it. Anything will do. I'll show you first, just really briefly, and then I'll take you through it. So this is the pose. We've done it before. Oh, my mic's rolling a bit. Okay, that's the pose there. And then I'll take you through it step by step so we can get into it properly. So first of all, set up your raise and then sit a fist width away from the raise. So there's a bit of space there. If you're starting with straight legs, then just bring both feet together, knees out to the side into Baddha Konasana. Press your feet together, the heels together, and see if you can get the knees to descend towards the floor. So you're lengthening the inner leg to try and get the knees further, closer towards the floor. Then hands to the side as you just roll down onto your raise. You want to have your head on your wee blanket. And you want to have your tailbone off the end of the pillow. So the sacrum's sort of off the end as well. And you can lift your bum up and make sure the buttock flesh is going away from the lower back so there's space for the lower back. You're not crushing the lower back. And then arms to the side, palms facing up the way. Press the back of the hands down quite strongly and feel how the shoulder blades move forwards into the chest and lift the chest up. And then relax again. Do it one more time. Just press the back of the hands down and feel the shoulder blades move up. And that's how the shoulder blades should support the chest. And then just relax again. You can close your eyes and we're just going to stay for a minute or so. So relaxing the legs, relaxing the knees towards the floor, and awareness in the inner groins. See if on the exhalation you can just release the inner groins a little bit more. Let the knees descend to the floor, so not forcefully, but just by releasing on the exhalation. And the inner leg as well. Then moving up to the abdomen, let the abdomen soften to the spine, especially on the exhalation. Make sure the back of the head is long so you can lift your head up and move the back of your head away from you a little bit to make sure the back of the neck is long. Then the throat should be soft, tongue and jaw can relax. All the muscles of the face and the eyes can relax. And the benefit of being on the height is obviously the chest is lifted up nicely for better breathing. So just less than a minute, just focus on your breath, filling up the chest, and on the exhalation, just relaxing towards the floor. Okay, we're going to do a slightly more active version of the pose. So I want you to stretch your arms overhead as if you're doing Urdhva, so really stretching into the fingertips. Arms should be straight, so lock the elbows out. And see if you can stretch the back out. This is where you need to make sure the buttock flesh is still moved away from the lower back, so there's space. And then reach through the fingertips to stretch your body out. If your arms are straight, see if you can grip the sides of your head with your upper arms. So the palms are moving closer towards each other. Hope you can still hear me. My mic, I'm aware, is quite close up to my face. And then just clasp each elbow with the opposite hand overhead, like this. Hopefully you've got enough space that your elbows are in contact with something. If they are, you can press the elbows down. And then we're going to work the legs like we did by pressing the heels together firmly. Really press them quite firmly together and see if you can lengthen from the inner groin towards the inner knee and grip from the outer knee towards the outer hip. And see if you can use that to move your knees closer to the floor. So just visualizing that, the inner leg getting longer and the outer leg getting a little shorter should help to bring the knees closer to the floor. Still relaxed abdomen, Still relaxed tongue away from the teeth, still jaw relaxed. But pressing the elbows down and pressing the heels together to raise closer to the floor. Back down to the side. Let your legs relax. Just spend a moment just relaxing again. So not pressing the feet together, just relaxing the legs, relaxing the arms. Make sure the abdomen is nice and soft. Then to bring the legs back together, you might want to put your hands on the outer legs to support them so you don't hurt your groins. And then roll over to your right side to come up. And come back up to sit cross-legged on a height. I'm going to see, hope you could all hear me and that was all right. Yeah. So sitting cross-legged again on a height, but this time change the cross of your legs. So you have your habitual one and then you just change. I had my left leg in and my right leg's in. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if some of you, I've never been before, so I'll explain things like that. But okay, again, hands on the knees, pull your chest forwards to make sure you're not slumping back, lift the chest up, length through the crown of the head. Joanne, you're somebody that could definitely sort of overdo this pulling thing because you're flexible. So just make sure that you're not doing too much. Then stretch the arms up. Take the left hand onto the right knee and the other hand behind you. Lift your chest and turn. So you can use your arms here. You're pulling with the left hand on the knee to get yourself to turn more and more. And as much as you can do, turning your chest to be like 90 degrees away from where you were to start with. But make sure still lengthening through the crown of the head. Make sure the spine's still long. Make sure that you're not leaning forwards or back. And make sure that the groin still stays soft. Then one more time, lengthen through the crown of the head and turn your head to look over the left shoulder. So we're turning the whole spine. You should be able to look behind you, hopefully. But keep the legs relaxed, keep the groins relaxed. But you can use the arms to give yourself a bit more turn. Then back to the center, stretch the arms up. Really reach up. The more length that you get, the better you'll be able to turn, the better it'll be for your spine. So stretch up, and then right hand, left knee. And I've got my other hand behind me using the cushion to turn. So as I pull on this front leg and pull on the cushion, I can turn my torso better. So it's as if the left ribs are coming back the way and the right ribs are moving forwards in order to turn. And I'm looking directly where my chest is facing. And this should warm the spine up quite nicely. Make sure the knees are relaxed, groins are relaxed. See if you can just turn a little bit more. Make sure crown of the head's going towards the ceiling and then look over the left shoulder. And see if you can get that left shoulder to go further back so that you're turning more. Okay, come back to the center. Stretch your arms up, just to even out the spine a bit. And then stretch your legs straight in front of you. And you don't really need to sit on a height for this one. But if you find that your back of your legs are inflexible, then you're probably going to want to. So stretching the legs out in front of you, hands on the legs, make sure that you're lifting the chest, and then fingertips behind you. You can press the thumbs down to lift your chest up, and make sure the shoulders are staying down and back. We're going to take our legs wide into Upavista. And focus for a minute on the legs. So similar to in Baddha Konasana and Supta Baddha Konasana, I want to making the inner leg long and I want to be drawing in from the outer leg into the outer hip. And see when I do that, my legs go a little bit wider without really having to try and without really stretching anything either. So lengthening all the way from the inner groin, stretching into the inner heel, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling, and then stretching or gripping, from the outer foot into the outer hip and lifting your chest, keeping your chest lifted. When we do these twists, when we're seated, we need to make sure the legs are still working. So pull your toes towards you, feel your kneecaps pulling up, and you're stretching into the inner heel. fingertips behind you, and then stretch the arms up. Really see how much you can lengthen through the spine. Oh, which way did we go first? All right, so left arm onto right knee or wherever it goes. If it's on the thigh, that's fine. The important thing is that you're not coming forwards, but you're lifting up. So you don't want to be going too far and coming forwards. Make sure your spine's still vertical. And then same thing, you can use the hand on the leg to turn. But keep awareness in the legs, especially the left leg. You want to make sure you're still stretching into the inner heel to keep nice active legs. And lift your chest, lengthen through the crown of the head, and turn as much as you can without being aggressive. And then final thing, look over the right shoulder. And then see if you can turn that shoulder further back, move the shoulder further back, and you can walk the hand further around to the left as well in order to get a better turn. So as that shoulder goes back, the left shoulder blade can move forwards, not just the shoulder, but the shoulder blade. So you can pull with your hand, move the shoulder blade forwards to get a better turn. Hopefully the back should be warming up quite nicely. Come back to center, stretch the arms up, stretch into the inner heel, stretch into the fingertips, press the legs down into the floor and feel yourself lift up. Okay, other side. Just make sure you're not coming forwards, lift the chest up and use the hands to turn yourself. Try and be aware of which side it's kind of harder to turn towards, which side you don't turn as far. This, for me, is my less far side. So I should probably do it for slightly longer. But lifting your chest, lengthening into the crown of the head, stretching into the heels, the inner heels, and turning. So same again, left shoulder going back the way, right shoulder blade moving forwards to turn, and the ribs as well. So left ribs moving back the way, right ribs moving forwards to turn, but make sure that you still, crown of the head is over the tailbone, so still vertical spine. And then look over your left shoulder and move that shoulder back a little bit further. Make sure you're not leaning back and putting weight into the hand behind you. If you are, and it's not possible to do it without, then you probably need to sit on a height for these. But lifting the chest and turning. Okay, stretch the arms up, reach to the fingertips, stretch into the inner heel, press the legs down, and see how high you can get your fingertips towards the ceiling. And then bring the arms down. Okay, next one's going to be Janu Shavasana legs. So take the left blade of the left hand behind the left knee and take the leg in, keeping the knee low. And for this leg, we want to try and have the big toe touching the floor. And it's that thing of the calf rolling forwards and the thigh rolling back the way. So the outer thigh, the top of the thigh moving towards the floor. What we're going to do for this one is we're going to stretch both ways. So stretch the left arm up the way, take it onto the leg, and you're just turning your torso to be facing the foot on the straight leg. Lift your chest and turn a little bit further. Make sure the leg's still active, so still pulling the toes towards you, pulling the kneecap up towards you, lifting your chest, turn a little bit more. You're not going to turn too far on this one. But when we go to the other side, so keep the legs as they are, stretch the right arm up this time and take it onto the bent leg knee. And then pull on that knee to move your chest forwards and turn. Lift your chest and on the exhalation, turn a little further. Lengthen the crown of the head and turn a little further. So we've got to make sure our awareness is still in the right leg. So stretch into the inner right heel, pull the toes towards you, stretch the toes up towards the ceiling, pull the kneecap up, make sure the leg's still active, still stretching out, and that will help you get a better turn as well. One thing that's quite cool in this one is try taking your weight back the way. So you're leaning back the way slightly and try and get the right buttock bone to come back onto the floor. And that can actually sort of help you to twist a little bit better as well. Very good for the back, I find. Okay, back to center. Stretch the legs out. Make sure stretching into the inner heel, pulling the kneecaps up, And then blade of the right hand behind the knee. Keep the knee low as you bring the foot in. And just make sure, most important is the thigh rolling towards the floor. So the hamstring muscle is coming up the way towards you. You can use your hands. And then stretch right arm up. Take it onto the leg, the straight leg. And just turn your torso to be facing, chest to be facing the foot. Make sure the leg's active, so pulling the toes towards you, pulling the kneecap towards you, stretching into the inner heel. Lift your chest and turn. We're kind of doing these today instead of standings, so we can open the hips and stretch the legs in these rather than standings sometimes. So lift the chest and turn a little more using your right hand to turn you. And then stretch the left hand up, come back to center, stretch the left hand up towards the ceiling and take it onto your right knee. Lift your chest and turn. Walk the right hand further back behind you. And then lean back slightly to get the left buttock bone on the floor. Pull on the knee with the left hand and see if you can twist it a little further. And then come back to center, as in stop leaning back, but bring the right knee back to the floor. And then turn a little further, lifting your chest. But keep awareness in the stretched straight leg, stretching into the inner heel, reaching the toes up towards the ceiling, and pressing the leg down into the floor. Okay, stretch both legs out again into Upavista. Fingers behind you, lift your chest up. Press the legs down and lift your chest. And then just bring the legs back together, stretched straight in front of you. And I'll have a think about how much time we have. I think we'll have to move on to downward dogs. So if you're wearing socks, take your socks off. And we're going to do downward dog, first of all, with the chair. So if you can grab a chair and ideally have it into a wall and just come into the pose. I think enough of you have done it before. I don't have to show too much. But you're going to want your legs to be at an angle, pressing the hands down and seeing if you can take your chest towards the floor to get your upper back in. So the kneecaps are pulling up, thighs are moving back fully, hands are pressing down, and if you've got your chair into a wall, you can press into the wall as well. Mine is quite slippy. Okay. So pressing the hands down, seeing you can take the chest towards the floor to get the upper back in. And pull the kneecaps up. Okay, and then bring your hands to the floor. We'll do downward dog classic. So hands to the floor, middle finger pointing forwards, and just come up into the pose. And I'm not really able to do it and talk because my microphone's in my mouth when I did it. So just stretching out the back of the legs, bringing the heels towards the floor. Working the front of the legs, so see if you can lift your toes up and pull the kneecaps up as you do that. Then see if you can keep your kneecaps lifted up as you bring your toes back down to the floor. Pressing the hands down and also pressing the hands away so that you can get your hips to go further back, and that should bring the heels closer down to the floor. Okay, bring your knees down to the floor and just rest for a moment. And we're going to do one more because the longer that we stay in downward dog upside down, the more sort of restorative benefits we're going to get. But this time we're going to do the thing that we did, I think, last week, where we grip the sides of the mat like this, because it can allow us to work better into the upper back. So gripping the sides of the mat like this, come into the pose, and then pull the mat away. And that's what's going to allow you to get your upper back further in and your chest closer towards the floor. And it also allows you to stretch from the hands through the shoulders into the hips, so that you've got this line going from the wrists up into the hips like a straight line, to move the hips further back the way. And that's going to allow you to get the heels closer to the floor. And just staying as long as is comfortable, making sure tongue's relaxed, jaw's relaxed. Making sure the breathing is nice and steady, nice and relaxed breath. And then bring your knees to the floor, big toes together, knees apart, just into Adho Mukha Virasana, like so. If you're a bit stiffer, use a pillow under your head. And just using the breath to relax the body. So if you feel that you want to rest your arms completely, you can let the arms relax. But if you use the arms like in downward dog where you're pushing away, pressing down and also pushing away, you can get your hips further down onto the heels and you can get more benefits for the hips. The area that should be resting on the raise or on the floor should be the area just in between and above the eyebrows. And bringing attention to that area is very relaxing and quietening as well. One area that seems to sort of clench in this pose is the very lower abdomen. So bring attention there and just allow it to soften a bit. Aware of the inhalation, filling it up with space, and the exhalation, just relaxing it. Then we'll come up. So walk your hands towards your knees. Come up to sit on your heels. And I'm going to show you a very relaxing sort of half Uttanasana thing where we're going to use our chairs and we're going to use a thing on the chairs like a pillow or just a blanket or something to rest your head on. So it's going to come, unlike downward dog where we've got legs at an angle, it's going to be legs just vertical and then head resting like this, similar to head resting in Adho Mukha Virasana. I'm aware that my mic's touched my mouth. And then arms wherever's comfortable, so arms overhead like this is good. And we'll rest like this. So the legs still have to work. You still have to pull the kneecaps up. You still have to lengthen the buttock flesh towards the ceiling to stretch out the back of the legs. It might be hard work for the legs, but the head's supported. And for the head, you want to make sure the skin is moving from the crown of the head down towards the eyebrows. So if you sort of nuzzle your head in that way, rather than the skin being pulled up the way, which is not as quietening. So skin moving down, and then hands wherever's comfortable. And just resting. So the legs are still working, but everything else just resting. And with these poses where you're staying for quite a while, it's useful just to put awareness in the breath and to allow the breath to sort of guide you into what should happen, what should change in the pose. So the inhalation, my spine seems to get a little longer, especially at the thoracic. Then on the exhalation, it's just relaxing. Okay, and come back up to stand. And then move your equipment out of the way. And next, I think we'll go for Viparita Karani, so legs up the wall. I don't have a wall to show you with, except the back of a chair. I can use that. So it is going to be very much relaxing stuff now. So if you're going to get cold, grab a jumper, put a jumper on. Otherwise, take a height, like a pillow, half a foot away from a wall, and then stretch the legs up the wall. And this wall is not very stable, but just to show you, this is where we'll be, arms facing up the way. So I'll give you a second to get into it. And then once you're there, we're going to do the same thing. So pressing the hands and the back of the arms down into the floor. Feeling the shoulder blades lift up through towards the chest. And then relaxing the arms and relaxing the shoulders, but the chest and the sternum's being opened up and lifted. Legs we can stretch for a moment. So stretching into the inner heel, stretching the toes towards you, pulling the kneecaps up, lengthening into the heels. And then you can let them just relax a little bit more. Softening the abdomen towards the spine. And letting the arms and the hands and the fingers relax completely. Awareness in the tongue, just remind yourself, because it tends to creep up towards the teeth, so just let it fall away from the teeth. Allow the teeth to be just apart, lips just touching barely, jaw muscles relaxed, throat relaxed, neck relaxed. And feeling the inhalation filling up the whole of the abdomen, the whole torso, and on the exhalation, arms relaxing, becoming heavy, pelvis area becoming heavy. And just allowing yourself to be still and to rest. Hopefully you're up for a restful one today. Bring awareness to the eyes and the head, just aware of any tension at all. Okay, and then bending the legs towards you, rolling over to your right side, come up. We've got one more restorative one to do before relaxing. You're going to use your pillows in the center of your mat, possibly with a little bit more height, bang in the center. So just your pillow, not your pillow, your blanket. Then we're going to lie down like this. And you just need to make sure that your shoulders are off the edge. Whole body could be, you could have your heels raised up as well, but as long as the shoulders are on the floor, then you're getting the lifted chest. So, like so, and we just relax as if we were doing Shavasana. So just making sure palms are facing up the way. And just breathing into the abdomen, and on the exhalation, letting it soften. Breathing into the pelvis, and just letting it become heavy. And this is one of the most restorative poses, so I'm going to let you just for 2 minutes or so just experience it. And I'll just be quiet for 2 minutes. So just see what you notice changes with the breath, how it affects your body. The end of the pose, so the pose at the end should not be the same as when you went into it. Changes should happen throughout the pose, and with each breath, you can observe what changes want to happen and should happen. So it's a pose that should bring a lot of energy into the heart. It's very restful for it. Okay, and then bend the legs, roll over to your right side, and we're just going to move the equipment out of the way and go into Shavasana. Keep a towel or a blanket for your head so that your head's slightly raised off the floor, but otherwise just lying flat on the floor in Shavasana. So all the normal things you'd expect: buttock flesh moving away from you, palms facing up the way, shoulders sort of walking down towards the buttocks, and pressing the back of the hands into the floor to make sure that the chest lifted up, but then just relaxing completely. So big toes rolling out to the side, feet relaxed, ankles, all the muscles of the legs just relaxing. So when you just stop doing, the natural thing is for relaxation to happen. It's not something you have to force, it's just when you stop doing. So just now we're just stopping and observing the changes that happen. Awareness in the abdomen and the pelvis, just release completely with an exhalation. And letting the arms relax, palms relax, fingers curl in. Just making sure jaw's relaxed, tongue away from the teeth, muscles of the face relaxed. And today, for the eyes, like you to put your hands over your eyes, so palms of your hands over your eyes, just cupping over the eyes, which allows for a bit more darkness. And in yoga, they talk about withdrawal of the senses. So just now you can see absolutely nothing, and you can see a pretty intense blackness probably, maybe with some sort of scattered lights. But you definitely can't see anything external. So this can allow the vision to just be more inwards. Very relaxing for the eyes as well. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is put your fingertips onto the tragus, which is the part of the ear that's like a little flap. Alternatively, you can just stick your fingers in your ears, but nicer to press on the tragus, and you won't be able to hear me, so give it a second. I want you to press the tragus into your ear so that you're covering up so that you can't hear anything at all. And again, this is just, it's going to block out sound and just allow you to look more inwards and to be aware more of the sounds of the body. So if you do that just for maybe a minute, obviously you won't be able to hear me. So off you go, stick your fingers in your ears and be aware of sort of the sounds inside. So maybe the sound of rushing blood, maybe this vibration of the body, but just awareness inside rather than outside. Okay, I'll assume that you've taken your fingers out your ears now. And then you can just bring your arms to the side again, palms facing up the way. And now just aware of the breath. You probably became aware of it when you were blocking out sound. Just allowing the exhalation to be long and focusing particularly on the space after the exhalation before the breath naturally comes in. Just another few breaths. So as much as you can do in the next space after the next exhalation, just allow yourself just to relax completely as if you're floating. And then bending each leg one at a time, feet on the floor. Roll over to your right side. Rest your head on your arm for a moment. And then come up to sit. Cross-legged. Palms in front of the chest. Thank you very much. I hope that's what you needed. I hope you weren't wanting to jump about and get sweaty. But definitely, if you do that every now and again, you feel the benefits rather than just constantly asking the body to do standings and stuff. Okay, so I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.